Yow, 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 yow. What's up? What's good? Um, is my mic working? I got a new mic. Is it working? I don't know if it is. Hold on.
Yeah, I haven't even played it since I beat the story mode, so a few weeks now.
Yeah, I 100% it inventory, and then it's out. So I yesterday 100%, and now I'm just playing through a new playthrough the story, but it's New Game Plus, so you have all your crap, and I'm just playing it on the new ultimate difficulty. They had the platinum trophy, but I'm just getting the rest of them.
Right.
They added more.
Playing on New Game Plus.
I mean, it's cool to play through it with all the stuff that you already unlocked, because I had every single thing. Every costume, even the hidden ones, all the, powers, all my upgrades. I had everything already from my first playthrough. So now I'm just playing on the hardest difficulty, because they added a harder difficulty, but with all my crap unlocked. And I had all the trophies, but then when they updated the game, they also added more trophies. So by doing this, I get the other trophies, which, if you don't care about, you don't care about.
So did you 100% the game?
Oh yeah, I 100% it before the first time.
Right,
I didn't beat it until I 100%ed it. But then they added new trophies.
Oh,
so
right.
It's now I'm just beating it for those. But the DLC came out yesterday, and that was cool because there's new content. I 100% of the DLC, and just going back.
Okay, well, we're live.
Cool.
What's up, guys?
Crap.
I don't know how I got a new microphone. I don't know how it sounds. Hopefully it sounds good. It's probably cutting in and out because
sounds famously bad.
Yeah, no. I'm literally switching over to what's it called? Offline, I guess, mode, story mode, however you want to call it, whatever it's called, for Grand Theft Auto. What's up, guys? It's been a minute since I've been on. I'm so sorry. My whole life has been changing, rearranging, and other rhyming words that go with those things. I've been doing a lot of stuff lately. Adam's been holding it down for me. Hopefully, you guys. Hold on, one sec. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? Sorry. Can you hear me? Oh my goodness, you're cutting in and out now. Yeah, hold on. Andy, I can hear you pretty clearly. But I assume my mic is not cutting. It's cutting in and out of it. One second. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Hold on. This part.
Okay, hold on. Let me oh, that's why. It's because what's its name is still going. Andy, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear it pretty good now. We lost that.
Yeah, I know he's probably going to jump back in. Let me re-invite him. Oh, did he? Okay, maybe he's gonna invite. Yeah, all right. We'll jump into his party. I'll leave this party and then jump into that one. Maybe my PlayStation's trying to do too much at once. That's probably what it is. Oh yeah.
I can hear you way better now.
Okay, I can hear you way better as well.
I just don't think you can host the party.
That's typically my life. I just can't host parties very well. That just seems to be...
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry guys. I have been just super busy. Just so busy. My life has been so crazy lately, just trying to get this new career up and running and all that fun stuff, and trying to all just crazy crap you guys don't even care about. But we are back. I am back. It's great to tonight talk about some fun stuff going on. As you can see, we're going to be streaming some for Red Dead Redemption 2. I am so flippy, so good. So tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about open world games, what we love about them, our favorite open world games that we have played, and what we're doing. Because as you know, it's probably going to be one of the most immersive
Horse balls?
Horse testicles. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. Andy, are you here? Are you with us?
No.
Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Oh, he's here. Okay, cool. All right, he's here. Little bit of delay there. Little bit of delay there for Andy, but Andy's here with us.
He's on
Exactly, that's what it is. So Andy's joining us today because I asked him to, and because I wanted to talk to him as well. So Andy's joining us today. Thanks, Andy. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm always with my buddy. Yeah, man, I'm excited, and I'm with Adam as always. Thank you for holding down the fort while I've just been literally going crazy. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so we're going to be streaming some GTA, like I said. Red Dead Redemption's on its way. I hope you guys have been doing all right. So quick news just for our channel and what we do and what's going on with us. So what we're doing is we are taking a little bit of a step back from the formula that we've been going with as far as streaming Battlefront 2, talking about Star Wars and all that. We're keeping the name. Talking Sith is who we are, and it's what we do, and I love it. I love the name, so I'm not giving it up. So we're keeping the name. However, don't expect us to be talking about Star Wars every week because we're going to be changing it up now. I want to talk about other things. There's different things that we can be talking about as far as the nerd zeitgeist goes, and as far as it comes to talking about things that we enjoy. We're going to be switching it up a little bit. You can guarantee you can get your nerd fix here for sure. We'll always be talking about something incredibly geeky and incredibly nerdy, but it just might not be Star Wars. We will let you know, however, if there is Star Wars news, if there's something going on with Star Wars. Of course, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to bring it to you guys in the best way we possibly can.
Carrie Fisher's birthday this week.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's happy and sad. That's happy and sad.
Yeah,
that's
her birthday. And then next week we have to stream Battlefront because General Grievous comes out.
Yes, General Grievous will be coming out, so we will be streaming a little Battlefront so we can check out that. I have been keeping up a little bit with what's going on with Battlefront 2 as far as General Grievous and the new characters go. I just feel... Okay, let's talk about Battlefront 2 real quick. They're taking too long with this stuff, and that's just my honest opinion. It's just they're just taking too long to get these things out because you have these games that are coming out now that are just absolutely incredible, just really good freaking games. Like even this month or these last 2 months, we've had Spider-Man, Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed, and now we're getting
Tomb Raider's ass. What are you talking about?
I mean,
they're so bad.
Okay, so Tomb Raider is one of those titles that will bring people to it. As far as Tomb Raider and Assassin's Creed goes, I will be honest with you guys, I really could care less, but you might want to play them. So let us know in the comments what you guys think about those two games. If you had a chance to play them, do you like them? Do you not like them? Should I get them? I don't plan on it, though. So convince me, because I'm not convinced up to this point. Honestly, Tomb Raider used to be my joint. Yeah, right. I should get Spider-Man. But what I've done is I waited and I've saved my shekels so I can get Red Dead Redemption 2 and so I can get the special edition, which I did. So I've been waiting and now as of 12 midnight tonight, we will be 24 hours away from possibly the greatest game of all time. Yes, I said it! The greatest game of all time. This is why I believe this will be the greatest game of all time. I have my reasons. And all of them are very good, and I can't wait for Adam to disagree with some of them.
Big disagree. It's made by Rockstar. It's impossible.
Okay, but see, that's the thing. I absolutely love Rockstar. I think Rockstar is a fantastic...
You can love it. It's just not objectively the greatest.
It'll be the greatest game. Andy, what's your experience with Rockstar up to this point?
The only experience I've really had is I played Red Dead Revolver and I played Red Dead Redemption a little bit, and then I haven't played really any of the GTAs, so I'm excited for this game. It looks awesome, but this is gonna be like a totally new game to me. Totally haven't played any games like this, so it's gonna be sick.
Why'd you avoid GTA?
Because it's trash.
Oh my gosh. Ah.
There's literal garbage. There's so many better games to play.
Okay. Oh god. Oh god. Here we go. I missed you, Adam. I missed you so much.
I'm really stoked for Red Dead. I'm planning on no lifing Red Dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like beyond stoked. I loved the first Red Dead Redemption. I thought it was a really unique game. I thought it was one of those games where, it was kind of the type of story you can only tell in a game, and you couldn't really have the same experience in a movie or a book or something. And I think that's rare. So I'm really stoked on this game. I don't want you to think I'm not. I just don't have any misgivings that it's going to be the best game of all time by any stretch. I don't think it's even, I mean, that's just me, I guess. It could be a 10 out of 10 game and not be the best game of all time. The best game of all time is a pretty distinct honor. I mean, and it's subjective.
That's very true. And it is, and I was going to say, and it's very much, just dependent on the person playing the game and their experience with it. However, I will say that this game for me is definitely going to be one of those games that pushes the boundaries of what video games can do and what they can be. And as much as I know the I won't say blanket hatred for GTA 5 goes, but my thing with GTA 5 is that there are good games out there to play. Yes, definitely, for sure. I 100% agree with you that there are very good games out there besides GTA that you could be playing right now. However, in my defense of GTA 5 and Rockstar, because I've been a fan of Rockstar ever since they were making like monster truck games for the PS1, I love Rockstar. And the reason why I love Rockstar as a company is because of the way they do business, in the sense of how video game companies typically operate. So they don't go to E3. They don't go and do these other things. They put out games and they let the games speak for themselves. And as far as GTA 5 goes, the numbers speak for themselves. The amount sold speaks for itself. And not only that, but the immersiveness that the game brings to you speaks for itself. It's one of those games that you can genuinely get lost in for hours. Not to say that there aren't other games that don't do that extremely well and don't do that on the same level as GTA 5. But GTA 5 is one of those games you can disappear into for a long time, and for many different reasons. Even just the simple stuff of your interactions with NPCs, your interaction with the wildlife, just being able to explore and things like that, which you guys can see if you're tuning in right now. I'm doing that with Trevor, going around exploring a little bit. We're going to go ahead and tackle this Michael mission while we are hanging out and chilling. I'm going to show you guys that really cool revolver you can get before Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out. I'm going to show you guys the really cool hatchet you can get. You got to put in a little bit of work to get your hands on it, but once you do, it's awesome, and I can't wait to use it in Red Dead. But GTA and Rockstar have always, been some of my favorite games, just because of, just the sheer scope of the games in general. But we won't even get into all that right now. What I really want to know is, starting with Adam, what are you most excited for Red Dead Redemption?
I'm excited for the co-op. Jared and I game share, so we're planning. There's been a few games where we played the whole game start to finish together.
Yeah,
and I'm excited that Red Dead allows you to do that. I'm really stoked on Red Dead. I do think it's going to be really good. I think it'll be one of the best games of the year, objectively, and I think it could be a 10 out of 10 game, because the first one was a 10 out of 10 game. I just don't I don't share your enthusiasm for Rockstar. Best or favorite? Because those are two different things. Like, the best games of all time are like Zelda and, Halo and stuff like that. But, I mean, if you're going to go by,
Zelda.
If you're going to talk about copies sold as a measure for games, that goes against most of the things we generally talk about. We talk about, things we love about creativity. So, I mean, you could talk about Call of Duty if you want to talk about copies sold, and I think that's a silly way to do things. Yeah, I mean, Red Dead Redemption 1 was great. I'm a huge fan of Elder Scrolls, so I really liked Morrowind, which was my favorite Elder Scrolls. I really liked
Morrowind was definitely a
Oblivion,
good
and
one.
out of the three, Skyrim was probably my least favorite, but
Really?
also really good. But Morrowind and Oblivion were my two favorites. And then KOTOR, really most BioWare games, so KOTOR, Mass Effect, which are linear but open exploration.
Right.
Those are, among my favorites. Breath of the Wild is open world and very good.
Yeah, Breath
I'm
of the
not a
Wild I
fan
definitely will give credit to. It was a great game.
Right. Fallout has its following, but it's not for me.
Yeah, I agree
just-
with that,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't like Rockstar very much, and the exception to that was Red Dead Redemption. I did not like Red Dead Revolver, but Red Dead Redemption was great. I also don't like Grand Theft Auto, but I never have. What was I going to say? Bully wasn't for me. I liked the
No,
Max
really,
Payne
Bully
series,
was a
but
fantastic game.
Rockstar was not the original developer of Max Payne.
Right,
it was
right,
just a
that's very
publisher.
true.
But
Yeah.
I do love Max Payne, and I liked L.A. Noire. But other than that, it's never been my favorite anything. And I know that, again, it has its fans, but to me, selling copies does not a good game make. I don't know. I like open world games. I'm not complaining about Red Dead Redemption 2 existing. I just think that to preemptively, I'm really stoked. It's other than Kingdom Hearts, it was one of my most anticipated games of the past.
Oh,
like,
for
3 or
sure,
4
yeah,
years.
definitely.
So I'm like really stoked on it. I just I have always been hesitant to label a game, potential best game of all time 3 days before it comes out, let alone until after I've put, hundreds of hours into it. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, if you want to talk about open world games, the standard, in my opinion, has always been Pokemon anyway. So it's,
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
it's obviously a different game, but
Right.
it's open world.
That's very true, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not going to tell you I'm a Rockstar fan to the point where you could even call it a negative bias. I don't like Rockstar, but I
Right.
do love Red Dead. So I'm really stoked on Red Dead. Dead Island was another good open world game. It was also co-op. so we
Really?
played that
Oh
together.
God, I
Yeah.
couldn't freaking stand that game. I hated
Oh, it
Dead
was
Island.
a lot of fun with a buddy. I'm telling you.
You know what?
Jared
Okay,
and I
with
played
the-
that game start to finish together.
With a friend, I will
Uh,
say that the experience was better, but
Yeah, no,
it
it
just
was
was
a lot of
like
fun together.
going off of playing Left 4 Dead and then going over and playing Dead Island. I was just so disappointed. I was like, this is not what I want in a zombie game. This just isn't
Well, yeah, but they're
like
different.
what I want.
Everything. They're not the same at all.
It just didn't. I don't know. I couldn't get into Dead Island. I mean, it was an okay game.
I mean,
guess.
you gotta
It
give
just-
it a shot. I
was
guess
tough.
it's just fun to play with somebody. So that's why I'm stoked on Red Dead, because Jared and I beat Dead Island together, start to finish.
Right.
We haven't had very many games where we could do that together.
Right.
In Red Dead,
For those of you
can.
who do not know who Jared is, because I do see some new people in, and hey, thank you so much. I'm seeing some comments already from some people I've never seen before. I agree with you. I'm calling Red Dead Game of the Year 100% for 2,000 years in a row. I love that
Well, yeah,
comment.
but what's the competing
I love
with?
that comment,
Like,
my buddy.
It will be Game of
But
the Year.
what a great
Like,
comment.
I'm
It's
not-
going to be Game of the Year. I agree with
Yeah,
you
but,
100%, my friend.
Who would possibly argue with that? I'm not even arguing with that.
It's going to be
I
Game
think
of the
it will
Year
be
for
Game of the
sure.
Year.
For sure. And
Yeah.
Nutter Butter Boy, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate
Boy.
that.
Nutter
I love
Butter.
that
I got
name.
A Nutter Butter for you.
For those who don't know who Jared is, he's one of the hosts that joins us somewhat regularly. When we first started, he was on all the time, but just like the rest of us, he works a lot. I would like to put out the disclaimer that we're not quite YouTubers. We're mostly just guys who like to put videos up on YouTube. So I wouldn't call us YouTubers, so don't expect daily content. However, you can join us every Wednesday for some sort of conversation about your favorite thing in the world, which is our favorite thing in the world, video games and nerdism. So thanks for joining us, and I really appreciate it. But that being said, it's as far as open worlds go, and as far as being able to just basically immerse yourself inside of a video game and not really go anywhere else for a while. I do genuinely believe that Rockstar does that better than anyone else, and here's my reasons for that. And I know that Adam is going to somewhat disagree with me, and that's okay, because that's why we're here, so we could disagree with each other and argue, and it's fun. Yeah. Oh God. See, look at this. Look at this.
There's BioWare. I can name 5 or 6 companies that make open world games that poop on Rockstar. I do agree that Rockstar gives you a lot of variety and activities and like things to do, and that's one of the things I loved about the original Red Dead Redemption. But I disagree that it's like I feel like we're painting a picture like it might be the only or at least the premier option for like amazing open world games.
Yes,
and I don't
definitely.
think that's like. I don't think that's even close.
There are definitely some other. I don't want to take anything. Please, if anyone's listening, believe me, I don't want to take anything away from BioWare. I believe
BioWare made one of the both the best games of all time and the best Star Wars game of all time.
Definitely, KOTOR is legit a legend. KOTOR is legit a legendary game, and it's awesome. But here's my thing: is that as far as just like taking some like everyday experiences and everyday things, like going shopping, looking for clothes,
so go play The Sims. What's wrong with you?
Taking everyday things, like so like
Ninja.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
So as far as like just like living out like your everyday experiences, Rockstar basically took a mirror and then put it up against ourselves and said, "Hey, this is the most extreme and ridiculous thing that we can possibly think of, and we're gonna like kind of show you yourselves in a way that's a little bit more ridiculous. Satire, basically, is what I'm trying to explain. They do satire in a way that is not really been done on a level that anyone else has done, and they really have pushed the limits of what an open world game can be.
But you're talking about Grand Theft Auto specifically, though. I never felt like there was much of Red Dead that was satirical. I just thought, it was a great open world game. But that's part of what I don't like about Grand Theft Auto is that, like, if I want to play a game, I either want a realistic experience or I want the escapism. But I don't need like some kind of combination of both where it's tongue in cheek, at times straight disrespectful and or I don't even know the word I'm trying to think of. But Grand Theft Auto is at times like offensive.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not saying that the world isn't. But I think that if I was going to play a game, if I wanted something to be offensive, I don't need it to be gratuitously offensive for the sake of being offensive.
Right.
And I think that there are times where Grand Theft Auto throws crap in its games where the only point behind it that could possibly be would be to offend somebody and say, haha, look at that person getting offended. And I think that is okay in like certain forms of art, and if that's how Rockstar wants to make their games, that's cool. But the Rockstar games that I've always liked have been the games that are about story and are about, experiencing something different.
Right.
Which Red Dead had, and that's not what Grand Theft Auto is about. I'm not saying it's not a good open world experience where you can do a bunch of crap, but I think that there are games out there that combine the story elements and the open world stuff, and Rockstar has one or the other.
Right. So I would say that my thing is I really like, and this is going to seem like a really weird comparison at first, but sorry if our stream got a little weird. I had to re-invite Andy. He backed out, so that's why that happened. But my thing is that like I really love comedy, and I think I love a bunch of different types of comedians, and the one thing I love about comedy is the ability to go to the extreme because of showing how ridiculous things can get and things can be. Rockstar, I will agree, there were some things within this game specifically, GTA 5. I mean, it's pretty notorious at this point, but the torture scene that you have to go through, and you can't cut through it. You have to do this. You have to do that mission in order to get to the next mission. I do agree with a lot of people in saying that it was over the top, it was gratuitous, and it was difficult for me to get through. And I definitely understand things like that. There was a lot of things within this game that just were really just kind of over the top ridiculous. But in that same vein, I listen to a lot of comics, and I listen to a lot of, I follow a lot of comedians that some people would consider over the top or just ridiculous, or say things that are just gratuitous and too much. And that's almost...
but I don't think it's the same thing. I mean, I like comedy too. I appreciate dark humor. I appreciate racy humor and
right. And so I just feel like that
blue comedy. But I don't think that's the same thing at all. I think that Rockstar does it gratuitously. Like, what's the point of the torture scene to you from an artistic perspective?
So, again, the torture scene, to me, I 100% agree with people that was a little bit over the top. There really wasn't a need for it, and there was a way to give you that same understanding of what was going on within the scene without having to literally not physically have to go through the acts of torturing someone. So there was a way to get the same thing out of that, and that's one of the things in Rockstar and GTA 5 that I can understand why people didn't touch that game or didn't go near that game for reasons because of that. But I will say that, just like comedians who say things like, like Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite comedians, right? And he goes on this one rant in one of his most recent things about Bill Cosby and all this other stuff, and talks about raping and Bill Cosby raping and all this, and it's crazy and it's ridiculous, and even just me talking about it sounds like kind of crazy and ridiculous. But if you go and listen to it, and you listen to the joke and how he strings it along, it's extremely interesting and it's really funny. And there are things in this game that are too much and over the top, but god damn it, they're hilarious to watch and go through. So, for me, Rockstar is one of those companies where you take, and as far as gaming companies go, they are one of the better ones out there, in my opinion. And they do it in a way that's, like I said, just so over the top. Like Saints Row, right? Saints Row was ridiculous. That game was absolutely just ridiculous. And that, to me, seemed like ridiculous just for the sake of being ridiculous. Rockstar is ridiculous for the sake of saying, look how ridiculous our society is. Look how ridiculous our whole culture is. And kind of putting up a mirror to that. And I think that's really an interesting thing to do. And the way they do it hasn't really been done by any other company. And they perfected the genre that they're in. There's a lot of mechanics and things like that are in other open world games that come directly from Rockstar and are a direct result of Rockstar pushing the envelope with what it means to be an open world game. So I will say this: Do I think it'll be the best game of all time? No, because in my opinion, the best game of all time is Kingdom Hearts. But that's my experience. That's the experience that I had with the game. That's what I was going through at the time, and all that kind of stuff. That really kind of made me really love that game personally. That will always just be my gold standard for video games. However, Red Dead Redemption is going to absolutely change what we consider an open world game to be, 100%. It's going to make a huge difference in what we're going to expect out of video games, which is what GTA 5 did. It made me change how I expected a game to operate and what I expected a game to be. But that being said, Andy, are you there? Are you with us? Okay.
Connections. I'm sure it's just talk.
Right.
If he's done anything to hurt her.
That's not a family car.
All right, Jimmy. You gotta hide. I'm gonna find the girls.
Well, it's just like Skyrim. It's an option. You don't have to. You just play the story or whatever you want to do. I think that we're confusing two things. One, and I meant to say this earlier and forgot to, we're talking really specifically about console games. So if you're listening and you're saying, oh, there's this amazing open world game for PC, I mean, enjoy that, but that's not what we're talking about. Secondly, I think that the fans of Red Dead who like want to experience it and are really excited for it, and the fans of GTA are maybe a Venn diagram more than they are a circle. I think that there are people who are really stoked for Red Dead who are really excited about it and don't like GTA 5 for good reasons, or GTA in general. Yeah, I am too. And are like beyond them, like beside themselves excited for Red Dead, but would not ever play new Grand Theft Auto unless it was free. And then there are people who love Grand Theft Auto and are maybe excited for GTA 5, but I might put out there that most of those people are not excited for, are excited for Red Dead, I should say. Most of those people who are excited for Red Dead and happen to love GTA are not excited for Red Dead because they love GTA. They're just excited for Red Dead. And the last thing I want to say, just because I don't know if I'll be able to later, is that if Grand Theft Auto didn't exist, I think the world would be a better place. And I don't think that, like, I truly think that there's a lot of crap in the world that, like, we need to acknowledge and need to, speak about and respect and all that. And I think that some of the way to do that is through satire and through comedy. And I have a particularly dark and morbid sense of humor and lifestyle anyway. But I think that Grand Theft Auto took a medium that had to that point been relatively innocent, at least in terms of intentions, and added things to it that were not. And I think that there are games, obviously, that precede Grand Theft Auto that are, dark or mature or contain scenes that aren't savory and things like that. But Grand Theft Auto did it and marketed it and embraced its prime gamership being children. And I think that up to that point, you could be like a 25-year-old neckbeard and play the Splatterhouse games, for example, or Doom, and enjoy it, or like Diablo. And that's cool for you. But I don't think it was like, okay, let's go embrace the 10-year-old playing this game. And I think Grand Theft Auto started that. And it moved on through like Grand Theft Auto and then Call of Duty and all these games now where you're forcing these kids to mature really quickly based on what they're playing interactively. And I'm not an advocate for censorship. I'm not an advocate for, game limitations in any way. But I think that Grand Theft Auto has been the poster child for those people who are, and with good reason. And
so I mean,
this is going back to like San Andreas and Hot Coffee.
Right.
Like
oh
Grand
yeah,
Theft Auto Vice
that was
City
really
like
over
that.
the top. The hot coffee mod.
There's
was
no
definitely
reason
over
for
the
any
top.
of it, and the fact that kids were playing it as a result of it being marketed towards them is, I think, not cool. And
Right.
I'm not even sure that's a Rockstar thing because I happen to like Rockstar's other games. I think it's specific to Grand Theft Auto, and that's too bad to me. But I truly think that if Grand Theft Auto didn't exist, first of all, Saints Row wouldn't either. And I think that the world at large would be a little bit brighter. But I don't think that necessarily, games would be better. I agree. There's open world games that I play and adore that have a lot of influences that Grand Theft Auto gave them. I just think that, if I was to say the world at large would be a better place without it, that's just my opinion. But
Right.
it's just not, to me, something that has bettered most people. I agree
Right.
that it's made some games that would be good otherwise great, but
Okay.
I think that for the most part it opened the door for this nastiness and negativity to start to be made specifically toward kids. And
Right.
that led to kids being shitheads and jerks to each other and not good people in general. And then
Right.
you grow up knowing a bunch of
Okay.
douchebags.
So now this is my
And-
only argument against that,
I
is
think
that
Grand Theft
I
Auto
grew
had a lot
up
to do
playing
with that.
GTA. I grew up playing GTA and I grew up playing these games. And so here's my thing, is that is that I was also like, there's so much more that wraps into those things as kids' personalities, how kids like
absolutely.
perceive the world,
Yeah.
how kids, because
You're not-
I would far more argue that Fortnite is much more dangerous for the future of human beings than GTA ever was,
disagree.
because
Fortnite's a fad. I mean, it's
well,
Minecraft,
Fortnite's a fad, but at the same time, like when you really think about it, it's a very selfish game. It's a game where you really are worried about more about yourself than you are about anything else, and it's about cosmetics. And now it's to the point where people are doing all these things.
Like you could say that about every game. I
Right,
think
and then
that
not only that, but GTA 5 and GTA in general, my thing is this. It comes down to the fact that kids don't buy games. Parents buy games for their kids. So, my mom, when she would buy games for me, she would very much be like, okay, what are you playing? What is this? What's going on? Are you mature enough for this? I didn't really start getting
that's what I was
into
gonna say.
GTA.
Yeah, you're
until-
not good because you played GTA, just like you wouldn't be bad because you did. I just think
Right.
that it allows, it embraces the negativity that does,
Right.
Make kids want to be jerks. And I think that, just because you're not bad because you played it, you're not, good because you played it either. You're who you
Right.
are because of your upbringing and
Exactly. And so
your
what I
experiences and
think
things
that,
like that.
I think what GTA for me is, and we're definitely going to get into, guys who are listening, we're definitely going to get into some Red Dead details and what we're most excited about that for. But as far as GTA goes, good night, my love. As far as GTA goes, and as far as its effect on society and things like that, my thing is that we have a tendency as a society to outwardly or push our issues and our problems onto existential things like video games, and that is GTA has been the catalyst and has always been this pivot point for people to say, like, look how bad kids are because GTA exists. No. Kids are bad because their parents are terrible and they don't tell them, hey, you can't play this game. Instead of just saying, no, you can't play the game because of this, and this, people let their kids play whatever they want to.
No,
and
I
then
totally agree with that. We're
they
not
have this
arguing about
terrible...
that.
Then they have this terrible perspective, not because of the game, but because they were just raised poorly, and that's just
No,
plain and simple,
I don't disagree with
the
that, but I
fact.
think
And
that
so-
Grand Theft Auto embraced that demographic. I
But
think it
that's the thing, is that I just
intentionally values that
didn't maybe I just missed that whole thing. But as far as marketing goes, now if I see a game where you can do all this stuff, blah blah blah, like I'm feeling like as an adult male, especially when GTA 5 came out, it was being marketed towards me, an adult male who wants to live this existential life that's not really my own, of having this high-rise apartment and being able to run drugs and this and that. Now, in my personal life, do I want to run drugs? Of course not. Do I want to blow up buildings? Of course not. Do I want to shoot up airports? Of course not. But in video games, hell yeah, I'll shoot the shit out of an airport in a video game, because it's a video game, and I love being able to live a life that I don't actually have when I'm playing a video game. That's what's most exciting to me. Like, what's most exciting to me about Red Dead Redemption is that I'm going to be able to shoot up a bunch of people, I'm going to be able to burn down people's houses, I'm going to be able to hit up people for money who owe me money, because in real life, I am not that person at all. I am a very calm, docile, like really teddy bear, and I think it's fun to live these lives through other people. And as far as it being marketed towards kids, I mean, really,
you
people
described,
just
like,
have
why
this.
people play video games in general.
Exactly, but my
that's
thing
why
is, like,
people do anything.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying, is that I don't think it was marketed towards kids. I just think kids get it because their parents let them. It's not directly saying, like, Rockstar has never said, hey, listen, 10-year-old, buy this game.
But they also, nobody says that.
But that's what I mean.
Nobody
Video
markets
games,
towards kids in general.
it's
They
just
don't
like
have the
Ren and
money.
Stimpy. Like, Ren and Stimpy is my perfect example for that. Ren and Stimpy is not a child cartoon, plain and simple. However, because of when it came out, people assumed cartoons are for children. Cartoons are for kids, so this must be for kids because it's a cartoon. However, if you watch that now as an adult, you're like, holy crap, this is definitely not for kids. And I think it's the same thing, is that video games are in this realm where people assume, well, it's a video game and kids like video games, so I'm going to buy it for my kid. So it really comes down to, you can sit there and make something look really cool and really awesome and whatever, but the responsibility comes down to the parent to say, well, as cool as
Right.
this looks, it's not for my kid. And that's
No,
really...
I don't think we're disputing that. Like, that's where I think we're not seeing eye to eye, because I don't. That's my point. I think is that like parents do make that decision, and you know, kids are going to be jerks regardless of games.
Right.
I've never.
But
been
to
an
say
opponent
that
of
like
argument.
GTA, like the world would be better if GTA didn't exist, is almost as ridiculous a statement as me saying that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be Game of the Year. You know, because it's one of those things where it's like, you know,
I think
GTA,
there are kids who would have been like not great, who are more not great because of GTA.
But my thing is,
I
like, if
truly
you're
think that
an
there are kids that
asshole,
are
you're
our
gonna be
age.
an asshole. You know what
Right,
I mean?
absolutely. But there are kids who are our age who are worse people now because of having played GTA specifically.
Huh, Andy,
or
what do
games that
you think,
resulted
Andy?
out of
What do you
GTA's,
think about
you
that?
know, influence.
Ah, just in case I wasn't having enough fun already.
You can draw as many conclusions as you want.
Right.
So I totally see Adam's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But to Adam's point, I don't think what you're saying disqualifies what he's saying. I think what
Right.
he's getting at is that if you look at the two demographics that he's described, or that you're describing rather, you have the kids whose parents are savvy enough to say this isn't for you, that I'm not getting it. But then you have the other demographic whose parents are taking their kids to a Deadpool, that
Right, yeah.
demographic of child. And GTA seems to prey on that demographic.
Intentionally.
Right. And I see both of your points, but I think they coexist.
Right. Hey, Andy,
Right.
do you
Right,
mind,
that's the thing, Kez,
Andy,
like,
do you mind
I'm not
turning up your
arguing with
volume a
you.
little bit? We're having some trouble hearing you on.
That-
No. If you could turn up your volume, actually. One of our listeners said that you weren't too loud. Just before we get into anything else, I just want to quickly go through the comments, because we have some really good points being made, and I think it's worth going over them. My little brother gets emotional over not being able to get a skin in Fortnite because he feels that he'll get bullied by other kids because he doesn't have it, and it does happen. I've seen it. Fortnite and other games like it have taken kids to a new low. I think that's a really good point to make. I will say this: when I was young and we were playing Halo, and that was really the
Right,
big
are those
thing. That
kids
was
not
kind of
gonna
like
jerks anyway, though?
that was kind of like our Fortnite. At least I can say like it felt like our Fortnite. It was different in the sense that it was much more cooperative, much more. We were making our own game modes, we were creating our own scenarios, and playing through them, and it was much more of a community. Yeah, exactly. You are welcome for zombies, because that's a direct result of Halo and Halo 2 players and all that. Really, creating our own game modes basically, and that was really cool for us to do and to go through. And I felt like gaming back then was much more of a cooperative thing. Yes, it was competitive, but the community was more cooperative. Now, I will say, like, even now, my brother, who's young and in high school, it really is like almost like a point of contention with his friends and whatever over this Fortnite stuff. Like, he was telling me, oh, well, Chaz, can you let me, can I have some money, because I still have the default skin, and my friends are making fun of me when I go to play. And I was like, well, that seems kind of stupid, man. It's just a game. He's like, oh, well, it's serious to him. Like, just as, because when you're a kid and when you're young, that's serious stuff. And I will say that we're completely off on a topic that I didn't even realize we would get onto. And that's okay.
But wait,
because that's what this
how much
channel's
of
about.
that would happen anyway? Like, that's just that kid. Like, if this was 10 years ago, they would have something else to
Right,
make fun of you for.
and that is the exact, and
Just if you
I
don't
think
have the
that's
right
the
basketball
exact
season.
point that I'm making about GTA, where I
but
don't
I'm not
think
arguing
that it
that
has like, I just don't think that like the whole it's being marketed to children thing is really like a viable situation, because I don't feel like it is being marketed to kids. I just feel like kids are getting their hands on it, but it's not directly being target. Like, kids aren't like the direct target of their marketing. You know what I mean?
They're not going to come out here and say, hey, 10-year-old, buy this game. That's not how things work ever.
Right.
But like that's like saying that I don't know, cigarette ads don't want you to buy cigarettes. I don't know how to put it, but like
No,
we're
I
not
understand.
arguing
I
that
definitely
point.
understand what
think
you're
that
saying. I definitely
Andy
understand what
said
you're
where
saying.
They preyed on that moldable mindset.
But what
that
video
was their
game
money
hasn't
maker.
done that? I mean, look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty is like,
Right,
to
but they
me,
didn't
directly
embrace-
targeted
I
towards
agree with
young
Call
kids.
of Duty being targeted towards it, but I don't agree that Call of Duty,
And
altered
like I said, in
their
my
game based.
well, my thing is
it
like I
didn't.
would say Call of Duty was a much worse had a much worse impact on gaming and the gaming community than any other game has had, especially when it comes to how we communicate with each other as video gamers. Is the as far as it
Well, yeah,
as,
every game's had something. Like Halo was bad for that reason too. I just think that it's not. I'm not arguing that there haven't been other games that haven't, benefited children. I just think that Grand Theft Auto specifically embraced that role intentionally.
Yeah,
with,
and
their tongue in
Nutter
their
Butter
cheek.
Boy, you
And
make
I
a
don't-
great point. Everything is marketed in a way. In that way, you're right. It's not just video games. It's a lot of different things. I know. We're getting into a whole different realm of like talking about society and how things work within our own American society and how capitalism works and all that stuff. But that being said, and pushing all that to the side, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a Rockstar game. So you can expect nonsense and debauchery and craziness, brothels and this other crazy stuff. And I honestly just can't wait for it. And there's a lot of reasons why, but I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why I'm extremely excited for this game. Besides this just large open world, I really do feel like, yes, it's, and again, it's objective. Everything that we say on this channel is not fact. It is all opinion. And you're welcome to disagree or agree with us. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Thank you so much, Nutter Butter Boy, for just destroying our comment section with your comments and reining in on the conversation. I really appreciate that. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is on its way. We are just about outside of 24 hours away from what I am deeming one of the greatest games of all time before it even comes out. Because that's what I do, people! That's what I do! When even talking about Star Wars, I will call it before it happens. That's my thing. Because I just love to say ridiculous things. That's my favorite thing to do. So yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is on its way. Right now I'm playing GTA 5. I wanted to show you guys real quick. As you can see, I'm stepping outside my awesome little car I just stole, because, you can rob people in this game and it's super fun. But I'm going to go ahead and put my gun away real quick. And as you can see, when I put my gun away, he does this cool little, look at that twirl! You see that twirl, y'all? Come on, let me do it one more time. So let me pull out my golden gun. I did some work for this, by the way. So, those who are still playing GTA 5 and aren't, little pansies like Adam. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. For those who are still playing GTA 5 and having a good time with it, there are some things you can do in this next 24 hours to get your hands on some really cool stuff. As you can see, I have a cool golden dual action pistol that I'm going to be able to use in Red Dead Redemption. And let me go ahead and switch over to this hatchet real quick. Now, this took me some work, guys. I put in some work to get this stuff. So here's my little hatchet. Oh, is that my hatchet? No, that's an axe. Hold on. Let me get to my hatchet here. Yay! Look at my Native American hatchet. Very cool. And in GTA, it comes with this really cool bonus where you can activate an ability where you get a stamina bonus. So if you kill a bunch of people and go from one person to the other, you get a stamina bonus and you become kind of invincible for a couple minutes, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so if you guys have time, and look at my money, y'all. It gave me a bunch of money when I did this. So now I have over $3 million in GTA, which is probably not going to get me much because this game is definitely pay to play. And that's a problem I have with GTA Online. I will be honest, GTA Online is not my favorite thing in the world, but I love GTA and I love Rockstar, so I'll always play their games forever and for always. But yeah, so I'm really excited. As I talk about this stuff, we're going to go off and try to shoot some people in the head with this really cool gun. That being said, real quick, have you guys heard, Andy and Adam, have you guys heard any details about Red Dead Redemption 2 that you are specifically extremely excited about? Like any game mechanics besides horse? Okay, so if you guys haven't heard yet, I'm sure you've seen the memes everywhere. I'm not on social media very much, so I don't really know what everybody's talking about. But I know my wife told me that the horse balls are a big thing right now, that they can shrink.
Oh, they're big and small.
Oh, they're big and small. But I think the coolest thing about that is kind of the detail. Like that's really, I think, what the most awesome thing is like the detail in the game. The fact
I just want to tell you, I
horse
literally
testicles
wrote
can
down
shrink.
before we started this, I'm going to get Chaz to say that horse balls are a good thing because of the detail in the game, and he just said it. So I want you to know that was my plan, and no, to answer your question, honestly, the co-op, that's really, I mean, I'm stoked for a continuation on the Red Dead Redemption lore. I'm stoked for, the exploration. The woods specifically really excite me because I feel like games don't generally do forests correctly. And I'm really excited to see how well it gets because I was reading a review that said it legitimately gets hard to like go through the woods because it gets so thick and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for the open world weather mechanics because you can watch like storms roll in and slowly generate and affect the world, which is pretty cool. And the co-op. Those three things I'm really excited for. I'm also really intrigued to see how they follow up on what the first one did so well, because I really liked that the first one was right at the turn of like technology starting to take place. So like you could drive in like really crappy cars and like trains were starting to be a thing and stuff like that. But they weren't like, there were still crotchety old people who wouldn't embrace it and really prefer horses and buggies and stuff. And I really liked that. And I really liked the climax of the game because, like I said earlier, I really think it's unique to gaming that you can experience it in that way. So I'm interested to see if the second one even can follow up on that because I that was when it happened in the first one. I was like, whoa. And I don't know that the second one really can do that because it's been so long since the first one, and we've had so many games that have made you sort of stop and stare for a second. That I don't know that we're not desensitized to how good games are now. So like
I
Spider-Man
think that
had some moments where I was like, whoa! And I truly think Red Dead will have some moments where it's, really beautiful and really impressive in its scope or its scale. But I don't know that any of them will have the impact on me that the climax of the first one had. Because that was like,
you're
oh my
super
God,
jaded, dude. Because even seeing the freaking gameplay videos, I'm like,
I agree with
I'm about
that. I
to
just
cream
don't
my
know
freaking
that-
pants over here. It looks so good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that it looks really good and it's pretty and it's exciting and it looks fun. Like I agree on all those things. But the first one had a moment that like I had to stop for a second and it changed how I perceived how it was as a game. And I don't know that like games are still capable of doing that for me, short of like VR or like a truly engaging physical experience, which obviously we're far away from right now. And I don't know. I'm stoked. I'm really beyond stoked. I don't want it to sound like I'm not. I'm
definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely very, very, very stoked for Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is on the top of my list, probably number one as far as games coming out, just because of, again, my history with that game. Real quick, I think your name is Orgy Lock. Very interesting name. You got them orgies. You got them orgies on lock, homie. It's so, there's so many things I want to say about your name, but it's okay. I'm going to move past it. Skinning is detailed, yes. So when you skin an animal, it's extreme detail, and it's much more, each animal is skinned according to how you would skin that animal in real life, which is extremely, extremely cool. And yes, there are a bunch of videos on YouTube with leaked gameplay. However, Orgy Lock, interesting name. I try to stay away from leaked content, and here's why. I don't like spoilers. I'm not the biggest fan of them, and I genuinely feel like, and I know there's some people out there who feel like Rockstar is intentionally leaking these things to get people hyped for the game, and that may be so. However, I don't think that's the case, and really my thing is, I know I went to school to learn how to build video games and things like that. I'm not going to get really into that, but still, I know what it takes to build a video game, and not only just to build a video game, what it takes to really make something come together that's, like, in my opinion, literally one of the highest forms of art that exist in our world today is video games. And to me, to leak things takes away from the artists who've done it and have taken all this time and put in all, and we've said the same kind of thing when we were talking about the leaks that were coming out for Star Wars. You know, really, I just feel like it's
There's
almost
an intent behind it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I just feel like it's almost disrespectful to the artist to leak these things. However, I understand it is disrespectful to the artist. And and I understand leaks, and I understand like people want them, and I definitely get that, you know, people check them out and get into them, and I definitely just got shot by the cops. So it's almost like real life. So sorry, too political, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I just, like, leaks, as far as I'm concerned, like, I really do try to stay away from them. I know that they're out there. My buddy Andy, who was on with us today, thank you again for joining us. I really appreciate it. He actually texted me some leaks today, and I wanted not to look at them, but I did anyway. I did it anyway. So, like, I'm just as guilty as everyone else for doing that. But real quick, because we are running low on time, for those who are joining us and are new, and oh my god, we are getting so many new people today, and it's just freaking awesome, and I love it, because I thought that we were on the decline. I'm going to be real with you guys. I thought we were on the decline. I thought things were going a little bit because we tied ourselves to Battlefront 2, but I think that we kind of find a new formula for how we're going to do things, and I really think it's going to work. So please join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to be talking about your favorite thing in the world, which is video games, which is our favorite thing in the world. But before we have to wrap it up real quick, Andy, I want to hear from you a little bit. Red Dead Redemption 2, what are you most excited to get into with that game?
Yeah, so I mean, I know this is like the cliche thing to say, but I'm excited to just get lost in it. I'm excited to just wander around, you know, look on exactly what I said earlier, which is look under every nook and cranny, just, you know, see everything, see as much as I can, take my time with the story. Frankly, similarly to Adam, I have a little bit of apprehension, and it's actually what might seem like the most obvious. I want to see how the story goes, because I'm really excited, and I know that they do all the little details right. I'm not even worried about it. It's going to be a beautiful game. It's going to be the biggest game we've ever played. You know, I can get lost in it for days, but I'm really curious to see where the campaign goes.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. However, that's what I'm most apprehensive of. Like you said, we were talking about growing, which, you know, over time your hair growing, you get overweight, you get underweight. Those things are nuts, you know. The thousands, hundreds of thousands, you know, whatever it is, number of NPCs you use.
Yeah. Over 500,000 lines, you know, over 500,000 lines of dialogue, over 300,000 animations. I mean, it's Rockstar definitely took the money they made with GTA and reinvested it into something that's going to be absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I just and honestly, just the defamation of snow over time as you descend from high altitudes to low altitudes. You know, even simple things as your horse can gain weight. Your horse, if you overfeed your horse, it will get fat. If you underfeed your horse, it will get too thin, and it will affect the stats of the horse. And it's and go ahead.
Yeah, so something that I'm saying a little bit to poke the bear, but I think there's truth to it. I think when this game comes out, we're gonna look back at Spider-Man and feel like it's a really two-dimensional game in comparison. And I absolutely love Spider-Man. However, I have difficulty getting lost in that game. It feels very superficial. I don't think this game's gonna feel that way. I think if we come back next week and compare the type of game and the type of experience that Spider-Man is to Red Dead Redemption 2, I think we're gonna feel like Spider-Man is two-dimensional. It's flat.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case for a lot of games.
Yeah, I don't think that Spider-Man is particularly deep. That's not why I love the game. In fact, maybe my only complaint about this game is that there isn't as much to do as there have been even in past Spider-Man games. So I think that, you know, I agree that by comparison to Spider-Man, it will be incredibly deep. And I don't have any apprehensions about the story. That's not what I meant to get across before. I don't know how it can match what the first one did to me. But,
I think, and honestly, like as far as matching the first one, and I know you guys aren't, super into GTA, so I'll try not to get too into it. But, I thought the same thing when I played this GTA, because I'm like, man, these storylines have been whatever you want to think about Rockstar, it's fine. But the fact of the matter is that narratively speaking, Red Dead Redemption 2 was a brilliant story. Bully. Whatever you might feel about the game, the narrative of Bully was brilliant. It was a brilliant game, and it was brilliantly written. Same thing with GTA 3 and San Andreas. The idea in San Andreas, this guy fighting with between his gang and between the cops and between this corrupt system, and having to try to get himself out of the situation that he's in, especially being especially being a black guy, being African American. I know my voice does not sound like that, guys, but I am a black person. And just having that connection with an understanding with this police violence and things like that. It was really interesting. It was just interesting. All that aside, it was just an interesting story. And I will say that I was kind of feeling the same way, because John Marston is one of the best protagonists in video games, period. He's one of the best protagonists ever written, and it's one of the best stories ever written, and it was really some interesting side missions and interesting characters, and the depth of characters that we saw was fantastic. And just seeing the little bit that we've seen so far, I can truly say that I believe that I do not think this game is going to be anything different than what we can expect from Rockstar in the narrative sense, which is a beautifully written game with deep characters, and the ability to really connect with these characters, I think, isn't going to be difficult. I think we're going to be able to connect with these characters extremely easily, because some of their stories are just they're going to resonate with us. Even Arthur, the main storyline, or the main character, Arthur's story is going to be really awesome. He has this father figure, Dutch, who, if you played Red Dead Redemption 1, you kind of know who Dutch is already. But if you have not played that, Dutch is kind of the leader of this gang that Arthur Morgan's a part of, and he takes Arthur Morgan and John Marston under his wing and turns them into rootin' tootin' cowboys, basically, who have this interesting sense of moral ambiguity, which is the Robin Hood type of thing, which is I do what I have to be able to do the right thing, even that means doing the wrong thing sometimes, or what you might perceive to be the wrong thing. I know that there's a greater good that I'm fighting for. I just got knocked off my bike, but and so I think that the narrative that we're gonna see is going to be fantastic. I honestly have no worries about what we're going to see narratively speaking. I think it's going to be a beautiful game when it comes to the characters and the depth of characters. There's even a couple characters, Bill Williamson is coming back. John Marston, like I said, is going to be back. So seeing John Marston in his heyday, obviously we saw him after he had gone through a lot and all that kind of stuff, but seeing him young and vital and kind of working with this gang of people is going to be really interesting to see. I have some predictions about John Marston and Arthur Morgan and their relationship, but I'm not going to get too into them today because I don't want to be right and then spoil things. But I have some prediction about their relationship, and I think it's going to be really cool. The things I am most excited about for Red Dead Redemption 2 are, one, like I've just kind of gotten into the storyline. I think it's going to be beautiful, and I also really am excited for what Andy said, just to get lost for a little while, to really experience this Western story. It looks so cinematic already, and I love Westerns. I love old Western movies. My mom always used to joke that I wish I could be a black cowboy because I just love freaking, I would wear cowboy hats all the time and be so stupid. And I just absolutely cannot wait to just pretend to be this gunslinging, no-nonsense cowboy who overeats. Because you can guarantee my character's going to have a big old beard and a big old belly, just like my big old belly in real life. So I'm really excited for that. And also, I'm just really excited to see the depth of characters and how many characters we can really fall in love with, because some of my favorite games, I've fallen in love with characters that aren't even playable, you know, just characters. And I will say, Mass Effect is, much as I'm kind of like on the fence with that game, I think it's a great game, but Mass Effect is definitely one of those games where characters that I couldn't even really play as, I really fell in love with. And that was one of those games that really did it for me, and I'm kind of excited to see what this game's all about in regards to that. But before we get going, guys, let me go ahead, go through these comments. Spyro Reignited is what I'm most excited for, other than Red Dead. Heck yeah, dude! Come on, some Spyro. That's what I'm talking about. I died in the jump style. You're right, man. I did. I just got shot up, dude. I got shot up. And you're right, a sequel will never really feel like, everybody always says that, and it is kind of a prequel to this one, but I understand what you're saying. Like, with movies, the sequel is never quite as good as the original. There are only a couple instances where I can say that, like, I saw a sequel of a movie, and Mass Effect 2, definitely, I'm iffy about the other ones, but we won't get in. We'll have a whole other episode to talk about Mass Effect, because we really need to discuss it, because I do have some things to say about that genre, and that IP specifically. Definitely my guy is going to be obese, for sure. I just want to say thank you to Nutter Butter Boy for coming through, man. I love you, dude. You're really saying some awesome stuff, and I really appreciate you coming, checking out our show. We do this every Wednesday, Talking Sith. Thank you again, Orgy Lock. I don't know if it's OG Rylock, or if it's Orgy Lock. So if I'm saying it completely wrong, so if it's OG Rylock and not Orgy Lock, I am so sorry, dude, because I'm completely like,
Pick a better game.
I'm messing up your name so bad. You did, I will say this, you might have asked for this when picking the name. You put Orgy right in it, bro. You put it right in there. So but we love you regardless. Not like that. Not to get into an orgy with you, but we do love you guys, and we really appreciate all of the love that you guys have been showing us over this long year, over a year now. We've been doing this. You guys can go back and check out our old episodes if you feel like it. We talk a lot about Star Wars, obviously, because that's what we started this channel to do, but we are, like I said, pivoting, and we're going to keep the name Talking Sith, because I love it, and I think it's really indicative of who we are and what we do, which is we talk Sith, or, you know, whatever. But it's been super fun chatting with you guys. Thank you, Andy, for joining us, and coming and hanging out with us for a little while.
You guys are pretty cool. It's fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we can get you on the show more regularly. I would really love that. Throw in another voice there.
Yeah. I pre-ordered Red Dead, so you convinced me. So next week we'll have to talk about it.
Well, next week we have Grievous.
Yes, next week we do have some General Grievous stuff, so we're going to take a moment to go over that kind of thing, talk about that, show you guys some playthrough stuff. We're going to play a little bit of Battlefront 2. Like, here's the thing about Battlefront 2, guys. I'm going to be 100% real with you about Battlefront 2. And I'm going to be 100% real with you for 5 minutes before we go about our channel in general. When I started this channel, it was with Adam. Me and him are like the original two that got together and decided we wanted to do this. I approached Adam with this idea of, hey man, let's play video games while we talk about stuff. And really it started out as Star Wars. So let's talk about Star Wars while we play Star Wars, because I just was in this mode where that's all I wanted to talk about, and I couldn't really find the venue in which to do it. And so I thought to myself, well, it would be really cool if we kind of mixed a podcast with a Let's Play. So for those who are just joining us, as far as today goes, that's what we really do. We like to have this kind of podcasty feel while we play video games and while we enjoy kind of gaming with each other and shredding it up a little bit. Today I did a little bit of GTA for you guys because Red Dead Redemption's coming and it's a Rockstar title, so, you know, plus I want to show you guys those really cool things you could unlock. But really why we started this channel was to be able to take an hour out of our week and just talk about things that were important to us, that we can't really necessarily talk about all the time because we're not always surrounded by like-minded people like you guys. So it has been quite a journey up to this point. We've taken a year, and we spent most of that year, it's been over a year now, but we spent that entire year talking about, it has been about a year and a half now. So we've taken that time to talk about Star Wars, and then I realized that we wrap this whole channel around a game. Let's be 100% real about it. That's not very good. I mean, Battlefront is a great title. The original one, Battlefront 2, has had its problems, and we've definitely documented those problems and talked about those problems in past episodes, so I won't really get into it. But, you know, if you followed Battlefront 2 at all and have played it, you kind of know what the problems are with those games. And I want to be 100% real with you guys. There are better games to be playing right now, and that's just the truth. And so what I really want to do is pull away a little bit from just being a Star Wars channel, and that's really so obviously if there's anything that's going on with Star Wars, that is our main priority. We'll jump on that, we'll talk to you guys about it, and we'll make sure that you guys know what's going on and what our opinions are on what's going on with Star Wars. But really what I want to do is try to pull away from that a little bit and start talking about other things, because we do really love so many other things. You know, I was even just texting Adam just earlier about Tenacious D and the concert that's coming up, and so, you know, there's a lot of things that we're really, really into that we don't really get a chance to talk about, and that I really want to be able to discuss on this channel, because you know, we're just more well-rounded people than just Star Wars. And not that Star Wars isn't the most amazing thing on this planet, because it really is. As far as I'm concerned, it's like the best universe besides Harry Potter. It's the best universe to be in. And we're obviously always going to be a Star Wars channel when it comes to, you know, talking about that. But I think it's time to venture down some new avenues, venture down some new, you know, rivers, and check out some, you know, new some new stuff. And so Red Dead Redemption and the discussion tonight was really kind of a new pace for us. So please, next week on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, join us. Again, I am joined every week by my best buddy, Adam. Thank you so much for joining me again, man. I really appreciate it. And thanks for holding down the fort for me while I've been so busy.
Honestly, I just played a lot of old school Star Wars games. I played, like, Racer, Jedi Starfighter.
Oh, nice.
Super Star Wars.
That's awesome.
And I sucked at all of them except Racer, so I'm sure people had fun making fun of me.
Nice, yeah, I'm sure they did. And again, Andy is a guest, but hopefully will become a regular on our show. I really enjoy having his added voice and his opinion here. So thanks again, Andy, for joining us. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's a fun time, and we'll figure something out. If it's a special guest, or we'll figure something out a little more consistent.
Yeah, definitely. And as always, I am your wonderfully handsome host, Chaz. You can't see me, so I could be lying, but you don't know. You don't know. So I'm just going to say I'm super good looking. But that is our show for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and pop these coppers in the face. I just got shot, so I guess I won't be doing that. But please preload or go get your copy reserved for you. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out tomorrow night, or so I guess, yes, so midnight tomorrow-ish it'll be out. Please go get your copy so we can talk about it, because we're going to be discussing it, and I don't want to be spoiling anything for you. I might even be doing a special midnight stream for that, because I'm just so freaking excited. So keep your eye open for that. And like I said, we meet every single week on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can find us at Talking Sith on all of the social medias, you know, Facebook, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. We're Talking Sith, and I am so glad that you guys came to join us. Thank you again. To all our new subscribers, like, holy crap, man, like, this is awesome. We had a night, and we've had over, like, 40 comments in the comment section. I'm so sorry for those of you who I couldn't keep up with, but it was just raining comments tonight, and I think that's super awesome. So, obviously, taking this new avenue is working, and already, so I'm kind of happy that we decided to kind of change things up a little bit. That's really awesome. But, again, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you next week on Talking Sith. Good night, guys.